We're live. It's the wrap up. It is the start of a week, which is the end of another week, which is utterly confusing me because I've had to change our little intro. But to be sure, you are here with Johnny and Glenn, the wrap up from Team Superdad. Roll theme.
Welcome to Team Superdad. Real dads creating their best lives ever. More time, more money, more fun. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.
Hello, Glenn.
Oi, oi, how the devil are you?
I'm very well. Here on a Monday night, still confusing me. I haven't quite worked out how I introduced the pod now, because we're talking about the end of the week. We're wrapping up the week, but it's actually the start of the week. So, but it is a reflection on the last week and the fun that we've just had over the weekend. So I'm going to move you across because that's confusing me.
Well, it's just like Ant and Dec. You can only work mentally if one of us is on the right side.
Oh yeah, but it's where my camera is, and then I've got the light here, and it's like there. It's sort of, it's a bit like what pocket you put your wallet in, or when you go out the front door.
Yeah, that's true. It has to go in the same pocket. It doesn't mentally work any other way, shape, or form. You have to. For me, it's wallet and keys, and that's it. It's that if they go in the wrong way round, or phone and wallet. That's what it is. Phone's in my right pocket.
And do you have a tapping routine as you go out the house?
Yeah. Normally, if I've got the coat on.
Yeah. I don't mean like a Gaza tapping routine. Apparently it used to be a nightmare. Paul Gascoigne, footballer, one of the legends of British or English football, world football even. Nightmare. He used to dip in 10 times on the doors, 50, light on, light off, light on, light off.
Yeah, no, I still haven't got a fishing rod, and I'm not going to be going anywhere with some fried chicken in a bucket.
If you want to know what that reference was, you'll have to send Claire a stamp addressed envelope. What did they call that? When you send in a stamp addressed envelope so you can get something sent back to you? What was that flipping old?
Yeah, I don't know if it had a thing, but it was anything. If you wanted like competition entry or photos or whatever, it was send a sign, a self-addressed envelope to blah blah blah. They would fill it with whatever it was and then send it back to you.
Yeah, magic. Yeah. That's bloody genius when you were a kid.
Kids today don't know they've lived.
I don't know who've lived. Dad, can I have a stamp? Dad, can I have an envelope? Yeah. In it goes. 2 weeks later, bosh, comes back some toot. Oh, yeah. The mobile phones have done us. Where would we be? Like the Romans. What have mobile phones done for us? Yeah, bloody Rome. Team Superdad is an awesome community of men, of dads creating their best lives ever. We work in the areas of focus, fitness, finance, family, and fun to help you literally create the life you want rather than the life you feel stuck in. And I've been working on some stuff. I keep finding notes that I've been writing myself over the last year. It's brilliant.
You're awake when you write them. You don't just wake up and find yourself you've written a few new notes, Tyler Durden style.
Oh, I wish I had, yeah. Or done some landing pages or written some emails. Being a super dad is about being your best, creating a life where you show up as yourself for your family and the person you know you can be. Excited, energized, healthy. Your superpowers are already in you. See, this is good stuff, Glenn. This is good stuff. I just, if you want some of that, then come on over to the Team Superdad community, teamsuperdad.com/group, and you'll be welcomed in. Dads just like you, dads creating stuff they want. And it's not about successful or unsuccessful. This is about accountability, momentum, upping your skills in areas where perhaps you don't have a great grasp on things. Planning. I've had to tell one of myself this week, Glenn, about my planning.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
Well, I'm like a flipping rookie. I've got stabilizers. My diary's got stabilizers. That's how poor my planning skills are. Basically.
Doesn't that just mean you're spontaneous and you just go with the flow like some sort of weird 21st century hippie?
Yeah, I know. But if you speak to like super successful people that are on their game, they've got it up, they've got their time managed out, they delegate effectively. When they say they're going to take an hour, they take an hour. They don't sit there going, let me type it.
But are they happy? Yes, yeah, of course they're happy. Yeah. They're very successful people, but
they're very good delegators as well. That is something I've learned as well, to be a good delegator. So if people are wondering what the hell is our show title about today, Glenn, summer has officially been stolen, it would seem. Or the 2 days of sun we had last month actually were our summer. Because those of you, well, apart from people who are in Canada, obviously, who are literally being sizzled.
I've seen videos. There's one guy who's been cooking food, steaks and stuff, just in a frying pan on the sidewalk.
Yeah, literally. Tracy Poisner, the lady who runs Essential Mums and Undeletable Dads, she did a Team Super Dad training session with me. She's in Canada, so it's going to go out tomorrow, Tuesday at 12:30. It always is on Tuesday, 12:30. And we're talking about helping teenagers or talking to teenagers after divorce. And not their divorce, your divorce, right? Which kind of became a conversation about talking to your teenagers. And yeah, so she's just like, they've had like 49 degree, literally people have been dying of the heat, literally.
Yeah, because that's Celsius. None of this weird Fahrenheit bullshit. It's Celsius, proper temperature.
It's 120 degrees, man. It sounds a bit more impressive, doesn't it? If you're going to go on holiday and you're like, it's 100 degrees. It's always a barometer.
Yeah, but it doesn't, because it's just like, that's like saying, oh, it's 12 Smarties or 1,000 Beetlejuices. It makes no sense. I mean, you can have whatever number you want before it. Fahrenheit makes no sense. There is no way in which Fahrenheit is an acceptable, let alone a better scale than either Celsius. Hell, I'll even accept fucking Kelvin, but just not Fahrenheit. It's bullshit.
See, I don't have enough of a science background. I did single combined science where we learned how to wire a plug and things like that, which I did really well in single combined science GCSE. But what is this, like Betamax versus VHS? Is this just a French bloke versus an American guy, or is like what happened with Celsius and Fahrenheit? Do we know?
No, I don't actually. I'm going to Google it because it's one of those things where I kind of read it and it was in the back of my head, but I don't know. It's not stuck in my head QI style.
Is it like the Lidl and Audi brothers? Apparently, they don't. Like they're supposed to hate each other and say, "Oh, they were brothers," and then it all went wrong, and now one's Audi, and one's Lidl. Apparently,
it came from some German guy. Where are we? What was his name? Mr. Fahrenheit. It was Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit, a German scientist born in Poland in 1686, and he just came up with a thing where he put something out, measured it, and at marked different temperatures, and that was it. He used a roughly average body temperature as about 96 degrees. Why 96? It makes no sense. And then it means that boiling is 212 degrees and freezing is 32 degrees. I mean, why? Please, some American or someone who uses this, why is that acceptable? There is no logic to it.
He literally turned up at some science show, took out a small box, stood on it, and said, "This is what I think."
Yeah, it makes.
I named it after myself. It is called the Fahrenheit rule.
Yeah, I think I might start saying actual boiling point is 7,319 Ochcores. I mean, that makes as much logical sense as Fahrenheit. And it's just these goddamn Americans. Yes, you had your colonial treason day yesterday, whatever. Until you go over to Celsius, then you don't even class as a former colony to me. You're dead to me.
Independence Day, yeah. Massive hello to my American family and friends on Independence Day. I've copped some serious grief in America on Independence Day. They are like, you don't have to be black to get racist abuse in America, right?
Is it xenophobic if it's nationality wise?
Oh yeah, okay. Xenophobia. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, look at me. I'm learning stuff constantly. No, I'll tell you what it is. I think I'm forgetting stuff constantly. That is what it is.
Oh, so like every day is an adventure where you just wake up and you learn every morning. What is this? Is this coffee?
I'm Button. I'm literally learning, forgetting stuff, and then having to be told it. So so in America they'd be like, "Yeah, we beat you, man. We put the tea back in the river. We showed you." It makes no sense to me.
It's like you're celebrating something that no one in your relatives living like memories. There is no like I can understand to a degree. I don't agree with all of the fetishization of World War II. I hate it. But our grandparents or our grandparents' parents and grandparents, so it's kind of 1 degree of separation from the people who were there. How many people do you think would have been alive during the fucking War of Independence? Rock all. So just get over it. Move on, people.
Well, no, it's not all Americans. Clearly, it's probably people leaning to the right a little. I would imagine. Yes, some of Mr. Trump's friends, and
although that being said, when we're talking about kind of histories, did you know that the 17th president of the US is what? Trump was 45, and I think Biden's 46th president. Biden is. The 17th president has got 2 living grandchildren.
Wow. What, because he was really young or something, and they are really old now?
He was a little bit young when he did it, but he was really, really old when he had children, and then his children were really, really old as well. They're one of them is 89 at the moment, and his granddad was born in 1790.
What?
Bloody amazing, isn't it? I mean, I just love how history works like that.
Oh yeah, wow. And then we've got chavs over here who flipping pop one out at the moment they can conceive.
My first, I was 23 with my first, and I was the oldest first generational parent in sort of living memory. All of my mum had me when she was 20. My nan had my dad when she was 19. And God knows how young they were before that. Yes, that's what happens when you're poor. You're poor people. You have kids young, so you have plenty of them.
Keep warm, keep busy, have fun,
have spares when they die.
Someone said to me, "Oh yeah, I was doing outreach and connecting with dads to come and join Team Superdad the other day." And this guy goes, "I'm not a dad. I'm not a dad." I said, "Oh well." I said, "Have fun practicing. It'll happen." And he goes, "No." He goes, "I don't want any kids." He goes, and he started talking about, "I'm not a Catholic. I'm not a Catholic." I was like, "Okay, mate, that's all right. That's all right." And then we got into a Monty Python kind of banter, and I said, "No, neither's my wife." And I love that bit in in The Meaning of Life. Every sperm is sacred, every sperm is good. And then she drops one out as she's washing up. Pick that up for us, dear.
See, now that is a multitasking woman, a woman who can handle doing 2 different things, who can do all the jobs and then do every job in the house and then some. That's skills.
It is, but I did see a picture today on YouTube. A guy shared it, and it wasn't even like lad Bible. It was just a guy shared a picture of his wife mowing the lawn. And this isn't a sexism thing, okay? This is just skills. You know, there's things that we're good at and things that we're not good at. But it did kind of fall into some gender. What's that? Not gender bias.
Gender norms.
Gender norms. Gender cliches. And so he's laughing as she's trying to work. Like, surely, if you've ever walked on a lawn or seen a lawn, you kind of imagine that to mow stripes, you go up and down.
I mean, yeah, that's fairly obvious. You just back and forward, keep one wheel over so that it stays nice and straight.
She was hoovering the lawn, basically.
Well, you can get hover mowers,
exactly.
where you zhuzh it, but no, if you want stripes, I saw a glorious. I mean, this is proper dad porn. This is. I saw this glorious one where a guy had his lawn, and I don't know where he was changing the height of the mower as he was going, but he went back and forward that way, made the stripes that way. Then did stripes, diagonals and diamond things. So you had these multiple different layers of stripes and stuff. Oh, mate, I wanted to put a hat on so I could take it off for him. It was genius, amazing.
Was this someone in the microdosing community, or what was he like?
God knows. But I have lawn envy in a way that I've never ever thought I would ever have.
or he's got a really bad relationship with his. He puts all his focus and time.
Yeah, I'm just going to be out there. I'm just going to keep rubbing it in random directions. Whenever I mow my lawn, the only thing I get is fucking fox shit flown everywhere. I haven't even got a pet, and my garden is full of fox shit.
Nice. And then when you go out, loads of dogs run after you because they want. Just before we go on, I missed this actually. Ghost Hand 246. Thanks for messaging. I think that means he's on Twitch. We've got our first Twitch comment tonight, Glenn. This is epic, groundbreaking.
Ahoy, Ghost Hand.
Because of conformity with the imperial system, people got used to Fahrenheit.
Oh, but it doesn't make it right, though, does it?
I know, but I've still got pictures of Fuhr. Is it Fuhr? Mein Fuhr? What's man?
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Dr. Fahrenheit.
Mein Herr.
Fahrenheit. Like, they will accept it. I'm going to go there. I'm going to take on the world. So this woman mowing the lawn, and he's laughing. We often comment about men. You know, if you're not ironing your shirt, then get out there and iron your shirt. I think summertime, isn't it? So there is a good sharing of gender breaking down of gender biases in these summer months. So other than getting really wet as it is in the UK right now, or dying of heat in Canada. But yeah, I wonder what else would be a good summer gender bias cliche. Putting up a tent.
Yeah, or barbecuing. You know, this becomes a thing. Oh. The man does the meat, the woman does the veg. That's one of those gender biased bullshit things that always bites me.
Oh, salad. Yeah. No one can knock up a salad like a woman. No one can cook a sausage like a bloke. It's true, isn't it? It's like if you see a woman by the barbecue holding the tongs, it's quite disconcerting. My aunt is generally the one doing the barbecuing at her. To be fair, she does most of the
and I bet she doesn't fucking burn it.
No, she doesn't burn anything ever.
make the fucking burgers like hockey pucks or some bullshit like that.
Well, yeah, yes, of course. Anyone is prone to a bit of barbecue burnage. I'm quite proud of my barbecue skills as well, actually. Pancakes. I have honed my skills at pancakes now.
I thought you were going to say that's what you did on barbecues. I was thinking, how the fuck are you doing a barbecue with a just through the grill, wasn't it?
No, if you've got a skillet, if you've got a flat plate, hot plate, you can actually do a whole breakfast on a barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first. I'll tell you something that I'm sure women can do, but I haven't seen it. Certainly not on Facebook. Did you see the baseball clip on? Again, this is a bit of we're like Gogglebox, aren't we, Glenn? But did you see it? It is worth a mention. If you haven't seen it, search Facebook for man catches ball, throws baby. Oh no, baseball, catch ball, throw baby. Right. So he's standing there. Have you seen it, Glenn? Have you seen it?
I've seen the clip. It is absolutely glorious. Talk me through it.
So it's quite short, right? Because it's just a clip from the live footage. So there's a foul ball, which in baseball means that the pitcher's thrown it, the guy swung it, and instead of it flying out forwards, it's kind of ricocheted off backwards. So it's gone out of play. It's gone out as a foul ball, but the crowd can still catch it, right? So if you're sat in that area, then you can be have the opportunity to catch a ball flying towards your head at 100 miles an hour, which is someone who never really understood cricket is quite a terrifying thing. But they stand there with their gloves on and stuff. So you've got people there ready to catch the ball with a baseball mitt. It's all. So there's a guy standing there. He's holding a beer in one hand and his daughter in the other hand. Truly, truly amazing. He throws, as the ball comes towards him, he does this kind of upward motion, which propels his daughter into the air. His arm continues upwards. He catches the ball. He then brings his arm back down around in front of him, catches his daughter. He's now holding the ball and his daughter and doesn't really drop any of his beer.
I mean, that's the most important thing. Yes, it's great that he didn't drop his daughter as well, but to not drop a beer?
Yeah.
Oh, mad skills.
That is proper dad skills priority. Go on.
If you are a baseball fan and you do want to see if you could do that, first of all, take your kid and grab a beer, but have a look on Ideal Seat. It's an app you can download, and it basically it's for most major baseball stadiums, and it tells you which seats statistically are most likely to have a foul ball hit into them. So you can book yourself to sit in those seats and be much more likely to catch one, especially in a pandemic type thing when there are fewer people around. You've got a bit more space around you. Ideal Seat. Have a look at that app.
So you see, brilliant! Wow, brilliant. I love baseball. Of course, been spending a lot of time in America. I can enjoy it. I can enjoy being there. The spectacle. It's mainly about drinking and eating. To be honest,
yeah, that's the thing. I think I'd go for the drinking and just to say I've done it, but it's not cricket, is it? Cricket is the superior sport of the two.
Well, I don't know enough about either, to be honest. I've been to very few cricket games. I got introduced to cricket, but I went to a private school for a couple of years. So prior to that, I was at a little village school. So when we rocked up at the private school, they had a couple of problems I had. One was they'd been speaking French for years, and I had not. And the other was they'd been playing cricket for years, and I had not. So all the sort of get used to the hard ball flying towards your head, or someone throwing all that had passed me by. So now I'm just ill prepared, standing there waiting for a ball either to be thrown at me to hit, or standing there bored out my brain for ages on the off chance that the ball was going to come thundering towards me and I'd have to catch it. The whole thing seemed weird and painful and boring to me.
Yeah, there was a reason I was when I was. I'm not saying I was some sort of sporting prodigy. I'm sure it was just because I was the only one who turned up. But as well as being on the football team and the athletics team and stuff like that, I was the captain of our cricket team. But I was, as well as like opening bat, I was a wicket keeper because I realised cricket balls are really hard and they really hurt. And the wicket keeper is the only one who can wear gloves. And so it was a lot easier to be the wicket keeper, take the glory of the catches and the stumpings and stuff. But yeah, I got pads and I got gloves, so if the ball hit me, it wasn't going to hurt so much.
Good skills there, but there is only one wicket keeper, so if the position's already been taken, then you're kind of stumped. So any sledging, because you can do that. It's a bit that's like the John Candy kind of position in Brewster's Millions. You can stand there and what do they call it? Sledging. You can
sledging. It is sledging. Yeah. And I was too young for all that. You know, it was very much a gentleman's game at that age group, and I was never serious enough, or let's be honest, good enough to step up to the big leagues. And as you get older, the bowling gets faster. And I went to Nets once, and they had a bowling machine, and my God, a cricket ball coming at you at 95 miles an hour, you don't see it. It's 0.24 of a second. How can your brain? I don't understand how a batsman can see the bowler, release the ball, see where the ball's going, decide where to hit it, move quick enough to hit it into that. How do they do it in 0.2 of a second? It blows my mind, which is why it's just so incredible.
Well, I do enjoy the 2020. So again, for our non-cricket fan listeners, the 2020 is a short version of the game played at much faster pace because they're going to finish it in a few hours. So people really just a bit like baseball, really. They're just swinging hard to hit it as far as they can, as often as they can. And some of those trick shots are, I mean, you're talking about how can they see the ball in that quick to just hit it, but then seeing it, making their mind up about doing some funky reverse hand shot over the shoulder, and then pulling it off.
It's absolutely incredible. It's glorious. Like you said, 2020 is the perfect gateway. Yes, Test match is the pinnacle, 5 days of cricket. But when you're grinding it out, sort of 1.5 runs and over, it can get, besides the drinking in the stands, which is wonderful, it can get a bit dull for the uninitiated. So 2020, there's literally fireballs that come out of the stands and cheerleaders and music and booze and singing, and it's over in, I don't know, about what, 3 hours, less than 3 hours, about 2.5 hours, something like that. It's so much fun. I recommend it highly when we're all allowed to go again.
Yeah, which will be a couple of weeks, because because apparently we can do anything now. We're going full bore. It's like mask off, sanitizer away.
It's mad. Yeah, I shan't be doing that. I will
go snogging.
But I will be going out to some sporting events because my son plays football, so I go and watch him every other week, and I love it. But it's not quite Premier League quality. It's kids football, and it's wonderful, but it's a little bit lower level.
Is this 7 or 13?
This one's a 14-year-old. 14.
Okay, so under 14s, under 15s. Oh, they're 11 aside now.
Yeah, they are. They're at that age where it's 11 aside. It's decent, starting to get decent tactics, and you can see the kids who are kind of actually athletic and so on. But they all give it some, and they're really, really good, which is a far cry from when I started as their coach when they were under 8s, and that was a very, very different world.
Okay. Any girls in the team?
Not at the moment. No, they've played against teams with girls in. And I remember one girl, she was obviously girls develop physically a lot quicker than boys. And when I say she was heads and shoulders above the boys in skill, she was also literally heads and shoulders above them in terms of height. And because they used to play in quarters, first quarter, she was a forward. She must have scored a hat trick and just danced around our players. And so from the second quarter onwards, I basically, one of our better players was one of our smallest players. He came up to kind of just above her navel in terms of height, but he was like a fucking bull terrier. And I just said, I don't care what happens. Wherever she goes, you go. Ignore the ball. Just be wherever she is. And whenever the ball comes near her, try and tackle her. And wherever she is, just try and tackle her, because she was so good. And it was brilliant to see the fact it didn't matter about. None of them said, oh, she's just a girl. It was just, she's a footballer. And so she's really good. And so let's try and get her.
Yeah. Well, there's a girl. Well, my boy played in a tournament on Saturday, so he's under 11s, and there was, a league groups, table, whatever, the knockout competition, six or 7 teams. Mm-hmm. And there was 2 teams in our section who had a girl in each team, and both of them were exceptional. I mean, it's never been a better time to be a good female footballer, because still not all girls are playing it. And
it's not.
You must be on a fast track to. Apparently, one of the girls, because we've been playing against her since she was same as my boy, since she was 6 or 7. So same thing now. She's the captain. She's like midfielder, she gives as good as she gets, and then gets up and tiptoes around and does killer passes, and it's amazing.
It's brilliant.
Chelsea.
Well, the FA have now said a few years ago that they've extended mixed football. The ability to, they don't impose it or anything, but the ability to do mixed football is up to 18, under 18s, which I think is amazing. And to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, there should be no split. I mean, if you want different leagues and so on, that's fine. But if a woman is good enough to play against the men and compete equally, she's good enough. There's no 2 ways about it. Why are we trying to separate them out when actually, yes, you can have different leagues if you want to focus on that. But fuck it, if women are good enough, let them play.
Yeah, I wonder when that first match will be, the first female Premier League appearance.
It will be a while, and let's be honest, and because a lot of it is down to the coaching, and there is a clear split. The reason the girls aren't as good isn't because they're not as good; it's because they don't get into it until later. They don't do those players that play from a young age.
It'll be one of this generation of people that we talk about, like from the weekend.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. Because I don't follow it as much as the men's game because the media coverage isn't there. But I've been to see England women play. I've not yet been to see Spurs women play, and I really want to, because I really wanted to see Alex Morgan when we had her for a year or so. Yeah. She's one of like the Messi, or not Messi, but one of the stars.
Yeah, American captain, World Cup winner.
Yeah, I'd say the David Beckham. So she might not be the absolute best player, but she's certainly one of the most high-profile players, and she is still bloody good. And she was a Spurs for a year. We've just signed Chu Soo-hyun, I think it's pronounced, who's the South Korean captain. So we've got the South Korean men's captain and the South Korean women's captain both playing for Spurs at the same time.
Many South Koreans come and watch them buy our shirts.
Honestly, mate, it absolutely. There's a reason he's worth so much. But yeah, and women's football's getting there, but it's got a long way to go. And I'm hoping, like you say, that it's going to be some of these young female players who are coming through the ranks that should be fighting for places in the higher leagues if we get past this proper football man's mentality of, oh, well, you know, girls are all right, but they're only girls. And, you know, they should play in a girls' league. Fuck off.
Yeah, well, it won't go the other way, though, will it? You won't have, like good but fat blokes playing in the Women's Premier League. Like, I could have been good enough if I'd have not ate so much. Like, no, I guess, how will you do that reverse kind of gender thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough old thing, but luckily it's for people above my pay grade.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're talking about like mind-bending things where we just don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the future.
We do know what's happening at Spurs, though. Spurs have signed a new manager. Now, I know not everyone's a football fan on this, but he's a guy called Nuno Santos. Nuno Espirito Santos, NES. We signed him after he quit Wolves, and football's a big part of my life. You know, when you're just a bit underwhelmed by someone.
Well, yeah. Look, and this isn't this isn't a Spurs podcast, right? But people who listen regularly will know that. But coincidentally, Glenn and I both are Spurs fans. But no, to be honest, he has Premier League experience, and I quite liked how Wolves played the first 2 seasons they come up. So that's a positive. And also, I hope a lot of other football fans can relate to this. And I'm sure people who support lower league teams can relate to this. I remember being a Spurs fan in the 90s when we were really bad and had like 1 or 2 amazing players that everyone just
mercurial talents, they were called.
Yeah.
Mercurial, sort of David Ginolas.
Yeah. And then someone that was really rubbish but tried hard, like the Ginger Pele.
Gary Doherty.
Gary Doherty, you know, he's a great defender. But if we're losing, stick him up front and lump the ball up at him because he can hit one as well. I mean, that's just a brilliant tactic. Can you imagine them working away late at night, Jerry Francis and Chris Hughton, like, we need something different. We need something special. We know. How big's Gary? He can hit one, can't he? Oh, yeah, great. Oh yeah. Oh, I got it. If we're losing and we've got 5 minutes to go, take him out of defence and put him up front.
I mean, it's hardly Pep Guardiola, is it? You know, or Jurgen Klopp's Gurgen press. It's just lump it up to the big man.
I wonder, talking of baseball earlier, I wonder if there is other tactics, isn't there? You see it in movies, like when the fat guy smoking a cigar like crawls off the bench to come out for the last ball, and because he's got all the power in the world and he can hit one. Or American football, they're going to send out the has-been quarterback to do the one last throw of the game. I guess maybe all sports have that.
Well, yeah, because in football, it's the sending the goalie up in the 90th minute to see what's going to go on and just to try and score a goal. And that's happened a few times in the Euros recently. And I know this isn't a football podcast. But is it coming home, Johnny?
It's coming home, definitely. Well, I don't know, definitely.
No. We've got that clip now. We're gonna cut that, and that's going to be a little soundbite.
Yeah, blimey. I mean, it's so typical. It will be so typical of England to foobar it against a very good Danish team. It'll also be quite atypical of a Spurs fan to see something like that happen. But I mean, blimey, did some of the play against the Ukraines, if that had been if that had been a Brazil team, they'd have been like, oh yeah, they've been playing Coco Cabana, as a soundtrack to the background of it. Just little passes, absolutely brilliant.
As an aside, I have played football on the Copacabana against a bunch of Brazilians.
Hey, that's the stuff dreams are made.
That's a tick list of kind of life things. But yeah, we've got Denmark. It's Monday night as we're recording, and we've got Denmark on Wednesday night. Where are you watching the game, Johnny?
I'll be at home, basically. The Junior Jays are here, so Jago and I will be watching the match together. Father-son football, watching the match together has been actually it's been a thing that's got us through some tricky times. Like I mean, over the divorce and the separation, and he was 5 when we separated, and he'd started watching football about a year before that. So since he was about 4, I've got a video of him when we beat Chelsea. I think it was 4-1 or 5. No, we beat them 4-1. And I've got a video of him dancing in the lounge going, "We want 5. We want 5. We want 5."
Good lad.
And the first games I took both him to, and then I took about a few months later, or maybe at the start of the next season, I took Rosie to her first match. So I kind of indoctrinated my kids into not just Spurs, but just the match day experience as well. And then over the divorce and some quite tricky times, the Spurs were good, and we had the whole Pochettino days as well. And simply being able to sit there and enjoy him playing football at the weekend, and then enjoy watching football together, it's become something that him and I love doing. My daughter, she's less interested as she's got older. She'll say, "Who's playing?" And then she'll be like, and then she'll pretend to be and stuff. But yeah, the England thing, I spoke to my dad and said, "Dad, so like we might get to the final. It's next Sunday at 8 o'clock." And he goes, "I hear you, and I would love to watch it with you, but there's no way I'll be awake at 8 o'clock."
Oh, God bless him.
I guess you'll be surprised how much TV I watch at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, right. Okay. So you can have it on catch up.
He goes to sleep when he's tired and gets up when he's awake. And he to hell with the whole what time it is for the rest of us. He just goes with the flow. He's decided he's at that level. So no, he won't.
A nice life.
Well, that's kind of what I think as well. Yeah, but so I'll be watching. Yeah, I'll be watching it with. It's definitely this Wednesday. We'll be watching just sort of probably casual. My girlfriend, I think, is going to come and watch it with us. But Sunday, we are starting to make some plans for the. We might make it, like it's coming home. We might make it.
Oh, it's that balancing act, isn't it, between not wanting to jinx it, but you've got to have something in place just in case. But then also, I'm not superstitious at all. I don't believe in all that sort of shit. But absolutely, I've got the right shirt to wear, and the right socks, and the right pants, and the right order for doing everything, because it's worked so far. The one time I didn't do it was against Scotland. And what happened there? We nearly fucked up. So I'm not saying it's all down to me, but we'll let the facts speak for themselves.
Yeah. If there's a big star over west of Maidstone this weekend, what's going on?
The other thing is the amount of people that have kind of crawled out the woodwork to be messaging me about me looking like Gareth Southgate.
Hey!
It's incredible. I've had old friends, I've had family, I've had women who have been interested in me at various stages, getting back in touch. It's bizarre. And I know there's a passing resemblance and so on, but fucking hell, my nephew still believes we're the same person.
I am bringing up, for those people watching, so we're going to not work on the podcast, but for those watching the live stream, give us a share, say hello, give us a hashtag live. I'm going to bring this up because this picture in particular, I mean, there are some perfect, I mean, Glenn, you should be making money from, you should literally be making money for lookalikes.
I'm definitely going to be wearing my waistcoat on Wednesday. That's what I'm saying.
But there are people making money as lookalikes.
Yeah. And he is a middle-aged woman's sex dream.
You need to trim your beard a little bit shorter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can do that. I need my nose to be a little bit wonkier and a bit more of the lips. And
No, you as a central defender, you need to have your nose broken 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Here he comes. Come on, Gareth.
There's enough there. There really is. And 10 years ago, I'd have felt insulted.
Look whimsically towards the sky right now.
I've got to take glasses off. Got to take.
Okay, let me just push you across here, see if I can. Oh yeah, look at that.
Is that?
That is pretty close. You got to go.
Yeah, I mean,
You've got a slightly bigger spam than he has.
Yeah, definitely have. He's got glorious hair.
People get paid for looky-likey gigs.
I might have to put this on my Tinder profile. I might actually get some messages that way.
You could say, what if you've got like a, wonder what that is.
A Gareth Southgate fetish.
What is it? So that gets classified as fetish, does it? Yeah, okay. That's like people that do the whole nappy thing. Like I want to dress me up as a baby, and I don't know what they do. I've only ever seen it like on sketch shows. What is it?
Yeah. There are things that can be done, and clubs and certain websites that can be visited that are.
I know how it will work, right? You're going to be standing on the edge of the room, yeah, and then you're going to be shouting orders at her, like, "Do this, get up front."
Yeah. No. I want a little bit more at the back.
Yeah, a little bit more at the back, not one over the top. God, and she'll be like, tell me more.
Well, stream come true. I just want to thank the boys for giving me this opportunity. We'll just go again. Give me 20 minutes, and we will.
Half an orange, perfect.
I've not messaged women like that for too long. I'm telling you, it's a lost art, and one that I'm worried I'm forgetting how to do.
What like
flirting, banter, all that sort of stuff. Because when I'm in relationships, obviously cut all that contact with random women out. But when I'm not in relationships, there's no one to do it with. So like, where do you go?
Oh, you need like a flirting buddy, like a
friend with benefit, a text friends, a friend with text benefits.
Yeah, okay. And then I wonder what the etiquette is for that. There was a woman in one of the single parent groups, and interestingly, I'm not a single parent really anymore, or I'm a co-parent with a girlfriend.
The thing is, you are a single parent.
Yes.
Who, because you'll always be a parent of your kids, and you look after them, but you have a partner, so that's a lovely position to be in.
Yeah, and that's where the whole single parent flipping label falls down. Anyway, I never really like single parent label. So yeah, I'm a co-parent, and I have a relationship. Yes. So this woman, she was in one of the groups, and so she said, been out with a guy, nice guy. Been out a few times. I've been doing it for a few months. I get the idea that they'd sealed a deal somewhere in what she was saying, because she then says, he said he loves me. Then I caught him texting or messaging another woman. And then she was like saying, like, what's the deal? Why are men like this?
Yeah, that's not cool. I think there's a couple of elements in this, and this because I'm in the kind of dating and romance world. This gets thrown at me all the time in terms of like, what stage are you exclusive, and how do you have that chat, and what's cheating, what's not. As far as I'm concerned, just because you started seeing someone doesn't make you exclusive. You can, each of you, and you go into it knowing they're likely the other person is, unless you have a conversation, or you absolutely know. Realistically, they could be, and so as long as you're okay with that, that's fine. As even once you've sealed a deal and had sex with them, then still for a while, it's still, for some people, that's it. That's the moment. As soon as you have sex, that's it. You cut off everything with everyone else.
Yeah.
But other people, very much until we've had that chat, we could be like seeing each other for quite some time. But the L word for me, if you haven't had that chat before now, as soon as you say that, that is committing you to that, and that is saying the societal norms say as soon as you say you love you to someone, I love you, then that's it. That's a monogamous relationship. For me, that's a line in the sand. No matter what else has gone on before or hasn't, that's it for me. You cut all that other shit out. What do you reckon? Is that too late?
No, well, because I did say what I said. So all these women were loading up on this guy. It wasn't even there. Clearly, it wasn't even part of the conversation. They were just validating her annoyance, frustration, dislike of men, upset, betrayal, all these kind of like she felt wronged, and they were kind of loading in on him. So I said, yes, But notice no other men have commented here.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a knobhead and is out of order, or he could be a decent guy who's kind of freaking out. And so I kind of listed some of the various things that he could be up to, as in he's said he loves you and he didn't really know whether he did or not, but he said he did because he thought you wanted to hear it, and or he said he did because he thought it would end up you in bed if he did say that, or he said it after you were in bed because having sealed the deal, he felt like if he didn't say it, you were going to be upset, so he said it to keep you happy. Like I put in loads of different scenarios, which I think were all valid, including one of them, which was he's a knobhead and and ditch him. But you've got to have the conversation to know what I love you means to that person, because you could even be friends with benefits and feel love for that person, but not actually be attracted enough to them to want to carry on.
Oh, yeah, you can love them in as a friend that you sleep with, but not be in love with them.
Yeah, that's the old I love you, I'm just not in love with you.
Yeah. And it's so frustrating because men are generally speaking shit at communicating about this sort of thing. Now, I'm not someone who goes down the gender norms of men are from Mars, women are from Venus, all that sort of crap. But generally speaking, men have not been trained to talk about their feelings and emotions and thoughts and feelings like that. So we don't. We might say something but not quite know what we're saying, and we certainly won't appreciate the impact of our words and actions when it comes to that sort of thing. And so, yes, like you say, absolutely, odds are he's a dickhead who was just saying what he could to get into bed. But it's not as cut and dried as that. There could be a scenario whereby, like you say, he just doesn't appreciate that saying I love you to someone means something more than, oh yeah, I love you too.
Yeah.
But for him, it's like, I like you, I appreciate you, I like having sex with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same connotations, and so men need to get much better at having those conversations up front with themselves, let alone with their potential or prospective partners.
Yeah. And women, not that we have many women listeners, but women need to realize that men, not wishing to do myself or the rest of the whole male population a disservice, but quite often we're just a bit thick, really. Like we're just like a big dog just barking. What are you barking at? Roof, roof, roof. Just barking because the moon's up there in the sky. It's like, yeah, okay. So yeah, ask men what's actually going on before you decide to load in on him. Interestingly, I got lots of lovely compliments from women for sharing a wonderful perspective on what was actually going on. Yeah. Hopefully they'll send they'll send lots of
hopefully they'll have
Team Super Dad. Could you go and hang out with Johnny, because I want you to be more like him. Well, maybe not more like me, but at least a bit less of a knobhead.
We need to meet more of these people in person. We need to throw some sort of Team Super Dad house party.
I'm up for that. I used to have this idea that we could like have a house that could be hired out for house parties, but then I realized that's just kind of like a nightclub, basically. But
yeah, it is, and I bet the neighbours would bloody love it. But I love house party. I haven't been to a proper house party in years upon years upon years. Certainly, I think maybe even pre-kids. And I used to love a house party, going into a place you don't know everyone, and there's loads of people in the kitchen, and random fucking someone's bought limoncello, and you got. It's not like the American parties where everyone's playing beer pong. And I have been to American parties, as you have, where beer pong is a real thing. Most of the time when I went to them, it was just, a bunch of people sitting on sofas, some standing in the kitchen, and a few people having a fag in the garden. I want to go to a proper house party with adults, which is just a lot more fun than that. That's what I want. So if we're not throwing one soon, then I feel like we're missing the chance for hot guy summer.
Do you know, I love this. We do actually need to milk the wrap up a little bit more, don't we? So we need to say something like, so if you're having a house party and you think like yes, Johnny and Glenn would enjoy this, and it's going to be wild, then yeah, send us an invite. I was actually at a house party at the weekend.
Where?
Joe had a housewarming, and so we were there, and we were kind of, kind of following the rules. It was, the majority of people were outside. I know the rules are changing next week.
You can have 30 people there. That's fine, I think.
Not in. I think that's outdoors.
Is it outdoors? I don't know. To be honest, I just tend to blur my eyes when everything's.
Yeah. I'm just kind of covering my ass anyway. But there was beer, and there was champagne, and then there was food, and then later on there was shots, and so then at like 1 o'clock it reached a point where I was not like blazingly drunk, because I don't actually enjoy being that drunk, not like when I was a kid, but yeah, a couple of the guys were just like they were blasting back shot after shot, and they're going, right, another one, and I was like, I'm going to bed in a minute. Probably going to bed in a minute. Do I need another shot? Do I want another shot?
Two different questions.
They are two different questions. Yeah, the amount of times I've had another shot when I didn't want another shot was, and did I need? No, definitely didn't need it. Need, want things you want and things you need. I want £1 million. I need to manage money better. Like something. I need to go to bed. Do I want another shot? It doesn't work quite right, does it? But there's yeah. Well, how do you get out of someone offering you shots without looking a pussy?
You drink it. That's all there is to it. I never know what to take in terms of booze to a house party, because generally speaking, there's only one toilet. Sometimes there's two, which is great. But if you just take like a massive crate of beer and you're kind of drinking beer all night, I don't know about you, but I haven't got a 5-gallon bladder. So I'll just be standing having a piss all night. Yet, do I want to take an entire bottle of vodka knowing that I'm probably not going to drink an entire bottle of vodka in one night? It's like, where's that happy balance? Is it like a bottle or two of wine maybe? But then I don't really, I'm not some sort of wine snob, but I don't want to be ending up with someone else's fucking Lamborghini.
No. And if you do take a bottle of vodka, you'll then find yourself in a situation where you want to kind of stash the vodka in between going and getting another top up, so that some knobhead from Essex doesn't turn up and drink all your vodka.
Yeah, and they do. So you can't take something really, really nice either. Because otherwise, they're going to spot it and say, "Oh, a bit of Grey Goose. I'll have a bit of that." Bosh, 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 and before you know it, it's gone.
Yeah, and they don't do it subtly either. They go, "Hey, look what I found, geezer!" And they come into the left with like as many shot glasses as they can find, line them all up, and absolutely blast the bottle of Grey Goose you bought in one round, and you're just stood there going,
"Yeah." Or I'll take a bottle of aviation gin, and it'll be gin tonic. And it's like, fucking hell, man. I know I'm not one of these people who says, right, I bought this, so I'm the only one who can drink this. This is mine. This is my precious. But equally, you've got to have some sort of balance with it. And if you've brought some drink, you want to have enough of that drink. And as long as my rule is, as long as I bring more than I consume, I feel that's fair. There's balance, but there are definitely people who turn up to these things. Basically, they'll bring a 4-pack of beer, and then they'll be the ones who are there at 3 o'clock in the morning, still knocking back the Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a party etiquette. Do you take what you're drinking?
For me, I think it's a bit like a barber's. Now, you're a bloke, so unlike female hairdressers or any hairdressers, units or whatever, but hairdressers, you make your appointment, you turn up when your appointment is, and you're seen, and it takes hours, and it costs £1,000, but whatever, it's all appointments. Blokes don't book a barber's. Now, this is one of those things that a lot of women don't really they never really think about, but you turn up at the barber's, you look around, you know who's ahead of you. They go and get their thing. No one says anything. There's no ticketing system. There's no queue. There's no appointments. You just know you're ahead of me, you're ahead of me, you're ahead of me. When you're done, I don't have to worry about who's behind me. I'm next. No one says, I was next. No, this is the barbers. And I feel like there's that unwritten rule of things. And it should be the same at a party. It should be that you turn up and you've got your sort of amount of booze you've bought, whether you've bought a load of beer or a load of this or a load of that. And you should know roughly what's appropriate. And after that, then you should be feeling a bit guilty.
Yeah. But there'll always be that group of lads from Essex there who will
Yeah, they will be.
who will just take over of the party, be rude to you as they're drinking your beer or booze, and then probably cop off your girlfriend as well. So not only from personal experience. Any NLP people out there, as I look to my left, down to my left, you'll know that
what on earth? What type of party was this?
no. Some horrible flashback to it didn't all go wrong, but yeah, different parties, different things. I mashed them up into one miserable vision in my mind there. Yes. Whew. That's what happens when you dig into your memory banks. Crazy stuff comes up.
Yeah, I try and avoid that as much as possible.
I didn't mean it. It just happened. I just had 3 or 4 relatively associated thoughts, and they car crashed into each other in one almighty flashback.
I think did I ever say on the show about the favourite house party that I ever threw when I was much younger? Did I tell that story?
You had the bouncers from a local club being the bouncers at your house.
Yeah, we had proper lighting rigs and DJ sets and bouncy castles and fireworks and shit. Now that is a house party. Now, as much as I'd love that house party, now I don't need that. Just get a house with neighbours who either are in attendance or don't mind or are deaf, and loads of people, bit of food, loads of booze, and maybe the odd attractive lady, and I'm there. I'm there. I'll just turn up. And that's fine.
Yeah, I think for it to be like that, I think you're going to have to go full bore, post it on the internet so that you get randoms coming up. Because if it's friends, then you'll have a mix of people. Some have got to get home for the babysitter, others who don't, who's on tablets, or whatever. Like, I've got to work in the morning like this. So before you know it, the idea that the 20 or 30 people who've come, as when we were younger, they're all there to get blind drunk no matter what happens. They don't care how they get home or who with. Everyone's now got a plan whereby, it will be over by kind of midnight. And so yes, you've got to post it online. Basically, we've got to go full out and expect loads of randoms to turn up. And oh man, it could get out of control. Could be so much fun as well.
Yeah, all I'm hearing here is party round Johnny's.
We could have it as a Team Super Dad event. I think that's what we should do. But we'll kind of let people pre-vet people so that that they're coming on the condition of this is a flashback house party, and you're coming with a mindset of being 24.
Love it,
but not from Essex.
And bring more booze than you drink, you cheap bastards.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Well, this is what we do on the wrap up. I can't say that any of it's scripted. We have a little chat beforehand about some stuff we've seen online or in our lives over the week, and Glenn and I are twisted and both clever and dumb enough to be able to chit chat for an hour. And that's what it was always intended to be. It was always intended to be. But one of my original intentions for the wrap up was born out of my early love of podcasts, which was actually a bit of a dark time where I was either working late into the night, wishing my marriage was going better, or I was putting the pieces back together of my life after my separation. And so podcasts were like my buddies. They kept me going through so much. And it was and still is and will always be my intention that the wrap up is exactly that thing for dads and maybe some mums out there. Mums, if you listen, then be sure to message us, leave us a comment, send us a text message or a Valentine's Day card, whatever, to a dating dad. I'm off the market. But I hope we bring some light and love into other people's lives.
It's a beautiful way to end it. Beautiful way to end it. Now, if people do want to get in touch and send their Valentine's cards, how can they find you?
Well, teamsuperdad.com/group will put you into the Team Superdad community. Like I said, we have the training session, open coaching session on a Tuesday. Last week's was all about making money, I think. Was about making money. We've had sex coaches on, we've had parenting coaches, we've had fitness coaches. I'll tell you what last week's was. It was Martin Sharp, the guy who went from 24 stone down to 15 stone. And tomorrow I've got Tracy Poisner on, as I mentioned, and we're talking about teenagers, how to communicate and keep your teenagers happy, mainly after a divorce. But actually, when we got to the end of it, we realized how so much of it was just about how the hell do you deal with a teenager? How do you communicate with a teenager? And do you know what? I'm really excited about some events that we got planned. I've been chatting to some guys in Wales, and as well as doing some kayaking and cliff jumping and that sort of stuff. We're going to do some firewalking and have some just men time, literally. Blazing saddles, sit around the fire, eat beans and fart. We should do a watch party. Well, no, we don't need to do a watch party. What we'll do, Glenn, is when was the last time you watched Blazing Saddles?
No, it would be a long, long time ago. It's so long ago that I haven't even rated it on IMDb yet. Okay,
I don't. What we should do is you and me will have some beers and watch Blazing Saddles, and we'll do like a director's cut. We'll do a pod along as we watch.
Love it.
Blazing Saddles. Until next week, guys, gals out there, I'll see you next week. Glenn, I'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Take care. Team Superdad out. Bye.
This has been Team Superdad. Find us at teamsuperdad.com. Join the program and create the best life ever for you and your children. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.